Then we go down to, now your topic, edges. So there are various different types of edging on towels.
Yep.
So traditional overlock stitch edge, which is normal. A lot of companies do this on their towels. The one thing that sets us apart is, if you notice, we only have one connection point.
Yes, that's a big
All of our others
differentiating
have a rounded edge.
Yep.
And we call this a one-corner zip stitch.
Yep.
Lower end microfiber towels use what's known as a four-corner zip stitch. So they have 4 corners are connected. It's just a single stitch across and then a single stitch down, and then the ends are all connected to each other. The difference between ours and theirs is that ours has less failure points. So again, going back to that high quality
there are less weak points in the towel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're going to get more longevity and more life out of the towel.
Durability.
Because of that.
So there is a difference when I was saying, guys, that not all towers are created the same. That's one of the reasons why there's a lot of innovation behind what they do. And before Levi continues, I can tell you, like just talking to the group, they'll receive different types of towels from their manufacturers and from their plants. How do you call them?
Factories.
The factories in South Korea and China. And they get to test them. So they don't necessarily have instructions on how to use them. So they'll go ahead and say, oh, well, like, we received this new towel. What are we going to use this with? How are we going to use this? The durability, you're testing, like you guys are very quality control oriented. I was super surprised. Guys, they go through every single towel manually and they set them aside if there's any type of defect. So you guys benefit from a perfect towel every time you order some. And yeah, it's just the level of attention and innovation. You guys will suggest differences and modifications that they can come up with to better suit your needs or what improvements you want.
Well, we can change weights.
Exactly.
We can change it. Like we may get a towel and it comes and it's awesome, but it's just too thick.
Yeah.
So we go, can we lower the GSM on that? And they give us some options. They go, here, well, here's 3 or 4 different types. What do you think?
Yeah.
And we go, oh man, this 360 GSM is perfect. And we'll take this style, you know? Or we grab one and we're like, you know what? Actually, those 3 different versions that we have, we have a use for all 3.
Yeah.
So let's do it. And
so that's when you know you guys are a big player, when your factories actually listen to you and are willing to go ahead and do the modifications, because this is not Joe Blow that can just come out and say, I want this color, this weave, this style. They're really open to hear you guys and make sure you get the best products out there.
Yeah. So going back to edges, so yeah, you see this is a satin edge.
Yes.
We have an overlock stitch edge. We have what's known as an ultrasonic edge.
Okay.
We have a suede edge, and then we have a knife cut edge. And so each edge is a little bit different for each type of towel.
Okay.
So overlock stitch is pretty normal. Like we said, it's a very inexpensive edge. It's a very simple, keeps costs low, brings the price of the towel down, which makes it easier for folks to utilize and have. Next is edgeless, and we joke that an edgeless towel should be cheaper, but it's not compared to an overlock stitch edge. And this is an ultrasonically cut towel.
Okay.
The issues with that can come from an ultrasonically cut edge is if it's too slow in the cutting process, it can melt and burn the edge, because the ultrasonic laser cut, it gets too hot and melts it like a lighter. So it can melt the edge.
Okay.
And you'll notice that on some towels, the quality control of other companies, when you get an edgeless towel, you may feel a very sharp, crunchy edge on it. That's one thing we look for. We want to make sure all our edges are very soft and very user-friendly and safe. The other thing is, if the towel is going too fast through the cutter, it doesn't properly seal the cut. So like a cauterization of a wound. It could continue to bleed fiber. So that's another thing that sets us apart from a lot of different manufacturers, is we try and check the best we possibly can for good edges. Yes, bad edges do come through, or yes, I mean, we may be talking about this much could be a bad cauterization and on this entire towel.
So just that small
we do
area.
our best to look for it and try and make sure to minimize that stuff, but some do slip through and some people do have, and that is your number.
Millions and millions of towels.
That is your number one linting issue.
And
that's where most lint comes from, is a bad edge.
Okay.
So to combat against that, for some of our higher end towels, we switched over to a knife cut edge.
Literally cut with a slicer?
Literally cut with a knife.
Okay.
A very sharp knife that slices these edges. It cuts it with the grain, which is a very important thing, because again, lower quality factories don't really notice that.
Yes.
And they'll cut against the grain, and the towels will just lint like crazy. And there are factories that get an ultra plush towel, and they're like, man, these towels, we'll hear from customers, I got them from this company, and those things lint like crazy. And they'll send us one, and we'll look, and we're like, well, it's totally against the grain. Like you can tell once you start looking at a
deep
towel.
into the details. It's crazy.
But with a knife cut edge, we cut them, and then they go through a process to help remove excess lint.
Okay.
Now we get them. And we shake them out before we put them in a pack, and you can see there's a little bit of lint here.
Yeah.
But we always recommend the best way to remove as much of the lint, because remember, guys, these are coming in a box.
Yep.
They come from the factory, they go in a container, they come from the box, and then we pull them out of the box, we shake them.
Yep.
But they need to be washed to truly remove the rest of the lint.
So every time you get new microfiber towels, I think you guys recommend
always
wash them right before the first
them.
use.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I always recommend that if you've got a pack of Eagles, wash them together.
Okay.
If you've got a pack of waffle weaves, wash them together.
Okay.
Keep them separate for the first initial wash.
Okay.
Because mainly what you don't want is, while you're washing the lint out of these, for this towel to come in and grab all the lint, because microfiber, regardless of what weave it is a bunch of little hands.
Yes.
And they're just going to try and grab whatever they can.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And a tighter loop weave is going to pull fiber from a more open loop.
Yeah.
Like a closed loop is going to pull it from the open loop. So
Yes.
I always recommend to customers, try and separate them. So,
should they separate by color as well? Like, should they be scared of washing a purple towel with a white towel?
Yeah, because just like clothes, it's dye.
Okay.
There's dye in here, and we do a wash at the factory to remove excess dye.
Yeah.
But if you put this white towel in with one of these red towels, you'll get a pink towel.
Yeah.
But that's that's anything. If you bought a new pair of jeans and you threw them in with this white towel, this towel is going to pull the dye from that. And so we always recommend, and like we said, we do one wash at the factories to remove an excess amount of dye.
Okay.
But true to form, it's just easier to wash your towels when you first arrive.
And by the way, quick tip. When you're washing, you can see my separate video on that, how to wash your towels, and the Rag Company has also done a great one on that. But briefly, you want to use the least amount of heat when drying them, right?
And washing.
And washing too. So ideally, if you can, in cold water or very lukewarm, and use a quality detergent, so either the Tide-free stuff or some quality microfiber detergents.
Yep.
And in the end, either tumble dry, air fluff, whatever option your machine has, but the lowest amount of heat. You don't want to melt the fibers.
You've got to remember they're plastic.
Yes.
Polyester and polyamide combined, it's just pure plastic. And
so when people say, oh, my towel doesn't perform like it used to, but then you realize that they put the dryer, they set it on the highest temperature, well, they essentially melted the fibers, right?
And what happens is, you got to think about it, microfiber is a hand with fingers.
Yes.
So the reason we say no fabric softener acts like a glove. So put a big winter glove on and you're from Canada.
Yep.
Up here, just like us here in Idaho. You put on a winter glove, how's your dexterity with that winter glove compared to having your hand free?
So you're impeding in the fibers with the, that's
so the fabric softener goes on and coats each fiber.
And you don't want that.
And you don't, that's why we say free and clear detergent.
Yep.
The other thing is, as those fibers get hot, they curl. So try and have dexterity when your fingers are starting to get gnarled and curled.
Yep.
You lose that ability to do things.
Yep.
So I've had folks, and I've done it myself, physically burn towels just to see what they're like.
Yep.
And it's a big difference. The towels don't melt in general, but the fibers, each little microscopic fiber will start to curl.
Yep.
And the more and more you do it, the more and more that towel becomes ineffective, and people notice that.
Yep. So if after your first washing and drying, you feel that that's what happened to your towel, make sure you check your settings, because that's usually the first thing people do as a mistake, is improperly wash or dry their towels. So you have to take care of them.
Well, and a lot of people say, it's fine, I set my water heater. Well, that's cool if you know where your water heater temperature is set at, or you set it yourself, because there are folks who do. They like to crank it up a little more, or they want to turn it down, maybe because they have small children. That's totally fine. For us, melting point is 140 degrees Celsius.
There you go.
Or Fahrenheit, 140 degrees Fahrenheit.
So essentially on the boiler, that's usually what it's set from the factory. That's the standard setting. You're melting your fibers.
And so if you're just putting it on hot, you're going to melt them. So for folks, the biggest thing is to check your water heater and make sure that that you know what it's set at. So if you're under that, and let's say yours is 120 degrees,
yep,
that's fine. I don't have a problem if you want to, but you have to know that temperature.
Absolutely.
If you don't, you are going to damage, especially if you're going to spend a lot of money on microfiber.
Yep.
You don't want to ruin them your first wash.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's why for us, I can't go to everybody's house and check their water heater. And so that's why we say cold or lukewarm.
Perfect.
Because then you're never going to get in the danger zone,
Exactly.
so to speak.
Yep.
I do have customers that go, I set mine to 120, I don't ever have to worry. Great, good for you. Wash them however
you know
want.
your temperature. Yeah,
you know your
max
temperature
setting.
figured out.
Yep.
But for those of you that don't, or don't know where your water heater is,
Yep.
or maybe your wife does all your laundry for you,
Yep.
check it, make sure.
Be safe, guys.
Be safe,
Yep.
wash them on cold.
That's right.
Separate the colors because you don't want to mix and have that happen, because I joke there's a lot of guys, my wife does my laundry, you know, and this is all of a sudden, this is the only laundry we do is microfiber towels.
Yeah.
And so guys will call and go, hey man, I put in this gray towel with this white towel and now I have 2 gray towels. It's like, well, same happens with jeans and t-shirts,
Absolutely.
man. You got to be careful with that.
And that's why you also want to wash microfiber towels separately from any other type of fabric that you might have in your home,
that
right?
too.
Yeah.
So if you try and throw in a cotton towel,
Ooh.
microfiber will do what it's designed to do. It's a bunch of hands. It's going to grab everything it can.
Yeah.
So be careful with that.
Great
now,
tips.
going back to sides and
Yes,
edges,
the edges.
the next one is suede.
Yeah.
And suede we went with because like satin, it's a very nice, soft edge. It's pretty. It finishes off the towel very well. However, with satin, which everybody did for a while, satin isn't absorbent.
Okay.
And my biggest issue with it is I'll be drying a car, and if I have a satin edge, there's always going to be water that comes off that satin edge because it's not being held.
Yes.
So we added our 70/30 Buttersoft Suede to our edging for all our towels, and we're moving that way towards all our drying towels and detailing related towels.
Yeah.
Because, like on some of our window towels, we've done the suede edge as well, because it is an absorbent material.
Makes sense.
It also is a working material.
Okay.
It is a micro suede.
Yep.
So you get the benefits of microfiber as well as the absorbency. So this towel all around is far more efficient than the previous model.
Okay.
And
so it's an evolution.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the reason we do different edges and the reason we have all this stuff is everybody likes different things.
Yes.
There are folks who say, I will not touch a car with an overlock stitch edge. There are people that go, I will never use a suede edge or a satin edge. I only want edgeless.
Okay.
And then there are other people who are like, no, I don't trust edgeless.
Okay.
I want an edged towel.
Yeah.
And then they find that the suede works really well for them. And
Yes.
so everybody's different. We're all different.
Yep.
And so we create different edges on different towels for folks.
Yep.
And so just like this is a circular knit family.
Yes.
For people who love the Eagles, but don't like it not having an edge, well, that's what the Everest line is for.
Yep.
You can get an Everest that has an edge that does the job for you. And you get the benefits of the circular knit weave. So that's kind of why we did it. And the same with the terry weave. We now have edgeless, we have overlocks. So we have overlock stitch terry.
Yes.
We have edgeless terry, and then we have suede edged terries. So people can reap the benefits, so to speak, of all those different versions. And again, like this with our drying towels, same thing. We added the overlock stitch, or not the overlock stitch. We removed the overlock stitch and went with the suede because again, it's a drying towel. It's going to get wet. So why not put an edge that can work for it?
Absolutely.
And again, thereby making this towel far more efficient at drying a car.
Absolutely.
Than a typical old style overlock stitch. So
if we can quickly, because I know this is probably a lot of detailed info,
a lot of numbers.
Can we summarize the what you just said, but in, let's say, the major lines? So what type of stitching we get, what type of material, and the different kinds of weaves, and what is GSM, just in like a 10 or 15 seconds?
Yeah, so easy way, different weaves. You've got the circular knits, you've got the waffles, you've got twists, and you have terries. Then for edges, you have overlock stitch, ultrasonic edgeless, knife cut edgeless, satin, and suede.
Suede, okay.
Those are the different edging. And then you've got your GSMs.
So that's the weight, the density?
The grams per square meter, the weight of the towel.
Okay.
You've got 245, 320, 350, 500, 600, 1100, 800. So they vary based on the type of fabric and the type of towel.
Yeah.
Like I said, these are almost in the 490 range.
Yes.
Even though they're a very thin towel.
Yep.
And then the blends, we've got 80/20s, we've got 70/30s.
So that's the polyester,
That's
the polyamide
content.
Okay.
So higher end towels, most of our detailing related towels
Yep.
for true paint safe products
Yep.
are always going to be 70/30. For janitorial, cleaning, your house, your and interior recommended towels,
Yes.
we have 80/20.
Okay.
It's not saying that you don't need them for paint.
Yep.
They work well on paint.
Yep.
But the majority of our detailing paint safe towels are always going to be, we're going to say they're 70/30
Perfect.
towels.
Perfect.
Because that's what they are.
Okay.
And that's what we feel are the best for paint. But yeah, so those are them in a nutshell.